Hello everybody, sorry for getting into this one a little bit late, having some issues on the back end, but VP versus Syman Gaming is live now for us to watch. Already into the pistol round here on Mirage, the first map in the pick of Syman Gaming, looking to out-aim the team of VP. Definitely not the easiest of tasks that they've ever faced, but VP have been shaky from time to time, so you never know how things are going to roll.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to favor VP coming into this matchup, but I'm expecting them to at least put up a good fight from the Syman side. But in this pistol round, at least they are having a pretty tough time so far. I mean, as Norbert is able to get himself that kill, suddenly, of course, Buster already being low, Sanji's the only one that's healthy. He does have the ability here for the one-on-one as well, but I don't think he's going to expect Sanji to have actually already crossed over to triple. So, yeah, he should have an easy time. Actually did fake out the bomb, hoping that maybe he could bait whoever perhaps was chilling in the CT spawn to peek out. Didn't really expect Sanji to be in towards triple, though, so he popped out, got the headshot quickly for himself, and there it is. VP, as you said, going to be able to come in and get that opening pistol round now in a matchup where they probably are sitting as the favorites. As you mentioned, this is the map choice, though, of Syman. You have Inferno then coming up next, being picked by VP, and have needed Train as a decider.
That's a decent veto for VP overall as well. Moving on to Inferno. They've got a pretty good chance of taking it. Mirage, not a map that they're incapable of. I think Syman have got a hell of a task on their hands to try and take these giants of the region down, but we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. As I said, VP have been a little bit shaky as of recently. Or, well, just in general, I guess. When you look at some of the results they've had, I mean, just most recently losing to Apex 2-1. They've lost to Sprout as well, to Prosto, and beat Navi. So, inconsistency is definitely an element of this roster. That's just looking at best of threes. Nealon, good shot with the deagle from top mid, and with that, I mean, look, it was going okay until they lost another player. Now with the man advantage, VP are again set up in a decent spot. Jame and Adren both one hit to deagles, but they do really want to close this round out fairly cleanly.
Yeah, that flank from Adren could be massive. That's if it's even needed, though, because Sanji's already got one. Although by doing that, he has, of course, massively delayed them. Adren's going to go ahead and throw in a couple of flashes. That's an interesting approach. It does blind up Mo, so he ends up getting pinned in the corner. And yeah, Nealon alone, I don't think he's going to be forcing the side of VP to kneel down anytime soon. No, gets the one. I mean, that wasn't a bad result, being able to get that extra one kill on the flanker. As you said, Adren is already tagged up, so only the one to the body was needed. 2 kills overall being found in that round for Syman. But obviously, after buying in that previous one, now they are just looking at that eco coming in, and most likely VP should be able to stabilize their economy here with this round. You'd imagine keeping a couple SMGs. There's actually a third MP9 there on the ground, so a few SMGs that are going to be trying to take as much money as they can, really, from this round against these Kevlar-less opponents. 3 is really the most that you want. Adren hasn't even bothered to go for a weapon. He's happy enough to just rock the deagle, apparently. So only the 1 M4. I mean, there's a chance here for these pistols to maybe get a couple of kills to do some further damage, potentially.
Yeah, without the Kevlar.
The MP9s wouldn't be too big of a deal.
Without the Kevlar, though, for Syman, walking into any fights, P250 versus MP9, that's probably not going to go their way. You get 1, maybe 2 shots off if you're lucky, and your accuracy is going to go to hell. But they're grouping up and looking to harass Sanji. It costs a little bit of utility to be burnt up. Go towards underpass, and Kickard, he gets swung by 3. Only good for the 1 frag. Now things get a little bit scary. The nade should get the kill on top mid, not even. Korea is still alive as they go out to retake that control. Around with the deagle, grabs himself 1. Okay, it's not patched out too poorly, especially as the Adren's managed to pick up the MP9. They can play the next round as a bonus, so long as Korea's doesn't get anything else done. 1 more kill, and this is a pretty damn good round for Syman.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be allowed, but who knows? If they keep going forward, if we see this aggression continuing from Kickard, maybe Korea's can pick up some headshots quickly with the P250, but nah, not being allowed in the end. He is taken down. 3-0 for VP, as you said, just this single casualty being taken. Not even a weapon being lost because Adren was just able to pick that MP9 back up, and Jame not really being too worried about going down because he's coming straight onto the op here anyway. Obviously, it costs him everything. But as you said, it is a bit of a bonus round approach. they've gone ahead and upgraded on Kickard rather. He had quite a bit of money, so he's still gonna have plenty in the reserve to get a buy in the next round. The players who wouldn't be able to upgrade and then get a buy in the next round obviously just stick into the SMGs, although JM, he had to buy that up. Overall, they'd have a good investment in this follow, and if they aren't able to win this one, but VP, of course, looking to try and get off to a good start to continue building up this lead for themselves early on. As we do see, I was going to just say, we do see Syman coming in with a pretty aggressive mid play. Yeah, looking for connector control, but mostly just that one player there, trying to flash him in.
The big difference from VP in this round is that they don't apply any pressure towards the apartments, right? We've seen them constantly go for those underpass plays. They're going to box in the players. But as nobody's spotted by Sanji in the apartments, they're definitely not needing that. And without mid control, it's no longer possible. Instead, it's a 3-man stack towards the A site. And we're presumably going to see some aggression coming, because you can't have Sanji solo holding the site. Or maybe you can. He's already taken down Nealon, but they've seen him in the corner. Getting out of this one's going to be pretty much impossible. Fades through the smoke, though, and he gets up behind them. Beautiful play by Sanji, and for a solo B player, 2 kills with an MP9, you can't be happier with his performance.
Yeah, that was a miracle he was able to come out with 2 kills, especially the second one being trapped between the short and then the apartment players coming in. As you can see now, a 3-on-3 retake. There is a kicker, there's a few nades as well for them to use as they go forward. They are waiting right now on this short flank to come in from a Dren, and actually I believe he was being blinded. Yeah, having no idea he was being flanked out. Kicker able to find one in the meantime from kitchen, and with Kreese being left alone, he hears that bomb being tapped, tries to shift his attention, and that's the moment that a Dren pops out over towards short. The headshot is found. VP, that opening gun round is taken in their favor in a fairly convincing fashion with 3 surviving, and as you said, Sanji, it was just incredible that he was able to come out with 2 kills, especially that second one. He had a good position, of course, at first. I believe was holding up close on short to that MP9. One of the low health players came around. He instantly dropped the smoke to try and create a bit of space, but then realized he was screwed because of the apartment players. So just went into the smoke to try and waste as much time as he could, and then pop out as soon as he kind of saw a bit of an opportunity. And that's exactly what worked out for him. Yeah, I mean, Syman at least getting the bomb plant down are able to buy again, but it's not perfect. There is certainly some negatives to it. They could do it on op. The nades could be a little bit stronger as well, but straight back to the mid control.
Swing out, that's very risky from the Dren. Not landing himself anything. The nade eventually whoopsie daisies, trades it out. And Buster able to grab himself another. I mean, this has worked out fairly well for VP, just swinging in one at a time towards middle, but grabbing the trades after one of them falls. The nade really sealing the deal as the man advantage goes towards the CTs. And all things considered, that's not a bad early mid take. Considering how it went, if Syman had to hit a couple more shots, I mean, they gave them the opportunity to just win that on aim supremacy. I think we'll probably see a cleaner take next time.
It was a weird approach from VP, as you said, a bit wild with that swing out a connector from, I believe it was a Dren. At that time I was watching Sanji on short, who actually done a really good job to recover alongside Buster. Jane with the op should spot that connector creep up quite soon, although as I say that, I realized the timing being a little bit awkward for him. He's not actually able to see it. So, yeah, Norbert Kurt's actually covering some ground for himself. He's going to creep forward onto A. Kreese, in the meantime, is actually creeping around through kitchen. Once his bomb gets tapped there as well, he'll have no idea that there is, of course, this lurker just in the back corner. Yeah, Kickard, as he confirms the bomb planter, goes to confirm it after initially faking it. Kickard pops out, finds him completely defenseless, and apparently doesn't let anyone surround him. Takes him straight down. 5-0. VP off to a very solid start here. I don't know if I was expecting this. As we said, VP definitely been the favorites, but I thought we'd be seeing a little bit more from Syman here on their map chase early on. But as you said, you could see some hope in that previous gun round. They had some good mid control coming in. They just ended up losing out the aim duels. So we might see them again just kind of going back to that default play of just taking the mid control and then making the decision later in the round based off that. And again, we're not seeing VP immediately challenge it. Instead, looking like they want to try and challenge a little bit later on once contact has actually been taken. But look at this. Straight down short with just the Tech 9s. At least for 2 of the players jumping right into window, showing some presence around connector as well. And getting the 1-for-1 trade on Buster, which is a pretty good result.
Again, we see VP sending a man in there, kind of blind to try and get a little bit of info and take the duels. It's not worked out terribly well, considering the buy that's in it. They're giving Syman Gaming an opportunity, or they were at least. In the end, though, starting to shut them down. The bomb now dropped, and Norbert, they know where he is, in towards kitchen. The last alive. He's managed to retrieve an AK for himself, but a 1v3. The bomb down in mid, it's not the ideal situation. Pulling it back is going to be pretty difficult. They've just got this on lockdown.
It's strange how VP are playing mid. They're not really peeking in the beginning from window and such to get the info about what exactly is happening, and then as you said, kind of just sending out players from connector very aggressively in pretty difficult spots, but it's working for them so far. That round obviously was only up against, I believe it was 5 Tech-9s. It was mostly Tech-9s anyway. So we weren't expecting a lot for Syman. I think ideally they would have wanted the bomb plant for themselves, and obviously a few kills, a little bit more than they were able to achieve, because you are seeing the economy of VP, at least on the majority of the players, building up into a fairly strong position. It's only Sanji who's lacking a little bit at this point. Obviously the rounds haven't been the cleanest, but normally 3 or so surviving for VP. And that's given them that small bit of security. But back on the buy, the op as well being available for Mo. This is where Syman really need to start getting actually going, because again, as I said, this is their map choice. People are expecting quite a bit more from them here. And with Inferno coming up next, that's going to be one that certainly could be tough for them.
I think VP are already showing us that mass amount of confidence they've got coming into the series. Like those mid plays 2 rounds in a row, especially up against the weaker buys like the Tech-9s, were a bit wild. But that's what you see from a team that just comes in completely favored above their opponent, and they know it. Good trades early on. James manages to find himself a double opening towards ramp. The aggression and Palace is shut down as well. And the T is left in a position where they're scrambling to try and recover the advantages. Buster, he's going to be naded to death. That's gone up top, but it still gets him down through the hole. I was worried to be a little bit too far away, but that's not how you want to peek in. Swinging through to CT, through the kill hole with an 8 in hand. Sanji quickly deals with him and leaves Kriaz in a 1v3. It's looking pretty impossible. Sanji's already out window as well, tucked in the close left corner. And this is a hard one to predict for Kriaz, as you see, completely caught off guard. A 7th on the board for VP, as Syman struggled to get any access to this. And the thing is, it's not like VP are being clean and clinical. They're not taking it super slow and strategic. Instead, they are just playing their own game, the cheesy expression. But not even on a team level, just individually, pushing out to mid, taking every single fight and winning them. And that's really worrying for Syman, because if they're going to put up any form of a fight, if they're going to contest for this series, you don't want to see their map pick coming in looking like just a pug play from VP that's working perfectly.
Yeah, man. Syman are struggling. That's what I said earlier. The way VP are approaching mid is they're not challenging it early. Later in the round, they're all kind of just peeking out when they freely... I guess when they see some free openings, when they feel like they have the opportunity to actually do so, and it's more on an individual level right now that VP are kind of just be real slapping around Syman at this point. I mean, there's still the opportunity. 7-0, it's not over. They have the chance to recover back into a decent half. But again, just being on this half investment, bringing it over towards B now, with a little bit of a switch up, to be fair. We haven't really seen the B approach much from them. But it is not going to find much success. Suddenly, it's only Kiaz who remains. He has the Eagle to try and achieve another couple of frags, but it will not be allowed. There was nades coming in either way, ends up just getting headshotted by the AK, and there it is. VP 8-0, already halfway to the finish line, and it feels like this map has barely begun.
Yeah, this has been very, very quick, and that's exactly why Syman want to call a pause and take a breather, because if they let it go for just a little longer, it'll be past the point of being retrievable. At this point, again, they need to have themselves a fairly convincing T side just to be in with the shot. I mean, if VP are already playing that confident game and winning all their aim duels, and then you come over onto the T side, well, they're going to be doing a little bit better, you'd imagine. Even just look at the deaths right now for VP. There's so few. Syman need to be doing much better, and it's not only in the death statistics that you see how well it's been going for the defense, it's also in the cash. I mean, they've just got so much money built up. The ability to buy again and again. And with the exception of those 2 or 3 rounds where they were a little, well, I think 2 rounds where they were a little bit wild, you're not seeing anything crazy from them. It's not like Syman are getting caught off guard. They're successfully getting their mid control most rounds, these same smokes being thrown down. You can see now they're slowing it a little bit, ready for VP to make one of those crazy pushes, but they're done with that, I think. Nice nade as well. Time to just tuck away and play the safe game. Play the 2-1-2 and see what happens late round. Let Syman decide where they want to go and just win all the aim duels there as they have been. Oh, that's a mistake. The smoke faded, but the timing wasn't in their head. Mo just running across mid.
Nealon was just re-smoking it as well, so he didn't even have his weapon out. It was so unfortunate right there, but they are still going forward. They need to try and overcome this top site defense, and so far it's not being allowed. We will eventually see Norbert and Kios each being able to return one, so that does give them a good opening, and Kios deciding to push in towards Kitchen. I'm having a little bit of an issue right there. My camera just wasn't working. And suddenly it is Kios left 1-on-2. He knows there's still that Apartments player, of course, as Sanji had already gotten one, and at that point shut down one angle of attack towards that B bomb site and just given so much control. Able to close it out in the end. It got a little bit shaky. With VP, they get the 9th round, and that's all that matters. Being close isn't really too big of a deal for them, as you said, with so much money on the board. And yeah, you also pointed to the fact that although VP aren't playing as crazy as they were around mid anymore, it seems like Syman have been kind of conditioned now to expect that aggression, so have to be cautious. And then when they do eventually pop out, it catches them off guard because they were just getting ready to move forward. And Dren just kind of gave a little jiggle peek as the smoke faded away. There was like maybe 1 second the window wasn't actually smoked, and he managed to get the kill with it. Oh, a quicker play towards A, straight up Palace. Leaving a couple lurkers though. One put out late from ramp, one lurking around mid, but man. Kickered. He just demolishes the A push.
Okay, Krias though, he does the work. He pulls back 2. This is now possible, but still getting a bomb plan is going to be difficult. Sanji and Kicker towards CT. Good spray for Nealon, but Sanji's there on the trade. Getting the bomb down on a 1v2 is going to be difficult because Sanji's already repositioned. He's moved into jungle, but this is going to be a mind game. Mo's going to constantly be thinking, well, there's one there. I've got to deal with the connector player first. Or smoke off CT, in fact. He has got a smoke to work with. Sanji on the long flank. Like, this is not a conventional play in a 2v1. If someone's going to go long flank, maybe it's James. Obviously with the off. He's tucked in the corner. Bomb's going to be picked up eventually. Look, he hasn't even picked up the bomb because he's so worried about clearing these angles, and this is why Sanji's position works out so damn well. Now, no way he suspects it. I can't fault him for that. I don't think he played it terribly, especially considering how over-aggressive VP have been so far. He was expecting James to come up through corner stairs. He was then expecting the CT peak to come in the whole time. He clears CT, but in all the time it took him to do that, Sanji, like a madman, had rotated through middle, from CT to window to middle, all the way around T-spawn, just running.
Yeah, you just don't expect that. Especially when you know the op was over on short, because he had spotted that out. He was shooting off shots towards James. Surprisingly, done barely any damage. He had quite a few opportunities, only seeing the legs, so obviously wouldn't be able to do a lot of damage, but he only connected like 1 bullet, I believe. But yeah, the entire time, as you said, that flank from Sanji, it was just coming in. It wasn't going to be expected, unless maybe it was a little bit later. Maybe at that point, then it would have been like, okay, maybe someone could have wrapped around, but he would have presumed most likely as well that in the 2-on-1, VP would just stick together, ensure that they can play it off of each other. Wasn't the case. 10-0 for VP as a close round comes in. The last 2 rounds actually have been quite close, with only a couple players surviving for VP, but that doesn't really matter. The fact that they're closing out is the main thing, because they do still have plenty of money. Syman obviously needing to actually finally pick up some rounds, and with a little bit of a gap in that window smoke, James does have vision. Was that their smoke, or was that from Syman?
I'm not 100%
sure. Block it a little bit. I think Ryan could be overwhelmed. Never mind. Lines them up in connector, claims the bomb, reacts to Mo coming through jungle, and Nealon is left all alone. Not going to be Nealon either. Instead, on his booty.
Lying down instead of Nealon. Well, Dean, it's coming into it, we said VP were favored, and I gotta say, this
didn't expect this.
Past what I was anticipating. I mean, Syman are a capable team. There's no doubt about it. These guys have played well up against decent level teams. We know there's a lot of potential on this lineup, but we're not seeing it. It's just not here at the moment. And VP in a position where realistically this half can go any way it wants, and they'll still be pretty happy if they end up on 11-4. But there's been very little sign of life coming through from that terror side, that it looks like this will just be clean cut. And then we move to Inferno, which is VP's map pick.
It's not a terrible map for Syman. It is actually up there in terms of statistics as probably their best map. Yeah, I would say it would be their best map statistically, but obviously being so strong for VP as well, it's still a worry, because VP are just kind of undebatably the better team overall. So you could see that obviously they did try and take a little bit of a pick here on Mirage, hoping that it'd catch VP off guard, who in recent memory at least haven't had the greatest results on it, but against higher level opposition overall. So that's kind of the difference maker. Okay, this is easily the best round we've seen from Syman so far. Eventually bursting in off that mid control, splitting on towards the A bomb site, and finding 2 openings uncontested before eventually that return came in from Adren. Trading back again, leaving them now in a 4-on-2. This should be their round. If this slips away, I will actually cry.
It should be the first round on the board for Syman Gaming, realistically. Surely they don't make that many mistakes, Dean. Buster punishes 1, but immediately the op's already taken the kill onto his teammate. And, I mean, saving. Is that something you think about when James is about to hit 16k? Sanji's going to be above the 10 as well. It's late on in the half. There's no way that they eco, but it is just worth tucking away and trying to find a couple more exits. You know the T's economy is low. Just down below him in mid, actually.
Notice the player creeping out.
Yeah, it was a shift walk the whole way, so... Syman not overly hunting, which makes sense considering where their economy's at. Even investing into this round on those 2 players is going to hurt them and leave their money pretty low. The VP get a chance to just slap them back into their place. And with the lower bonus, I mean, I think they would still buy. Just 2 players would have weaker weapons. No, I don't see a world in which Syman decide to eco when they can get 3 AKs out.
Yeah, they do need to keep it up. Obviously, a single round not being enough. They do have to try and really get the remaining rounds here on the B side if they want to be coming out with a position that they can be happy with. Oh, Mo is posted up on short right now with the opposite. Yeah, Buster, as soon as that smoke that was down, that was giving him the small bit of cover fades away, he is such an easy shot. James, all right, just jumps across the Tetris. Oh, God, what was that? Just the head and Norbert is gone. Unfortunately, he doesn't expect Connector to have been already taken over by Syman. But it's a 3-on-3. That was a pretty massive play from Jamin. It's even allowed Adren to push in towards ramp. He's going to find them now moving around. They might be cautious of him, but I don't know if they're exactly going to expect this. So indeed, Mo goes down. Neelan has dropped low, and also the bomb being spotted gives a good bit of info to VP. But it is moving straight back. And with 1 player in the B apartments, it's likely that they will commit this towards B, where now Sanji's actually just playing retake from the kitchen and not peeking. He's not going to spot Kios. He will hear those steps, I would imagine now. Definitely hears the drop down, and there we go, deals with it. Neelan being low, I don't think it's going to be too hard for him to take down. Neelan is just going to need some fantastic headshots here if he wants any chance. And Sanji, like, not even risking taking the fight, drops the smoke that he can play around. Should have spotted the head. Yeah, there we go. Now just, yeah, as I said, needs to waste time. Let Kicker get in, ensure they can play this together. His teammate is now moving in from kitchen.
Just going to run the clock down, though, realistically. He can't get on the site and plant it. Sanji swings to take the kill anyways. And I think you pretty much summarize how confident VP are feeling with James' position in that round. He was jumping across sandwich to Tetris, knowing there was a player towards the ramp, and then just swings over to Palace, gets that kill, back over the stairs, quick headshot on the ramp player. This is...
I don't know how to react to that. That's just not how CS should be played. Maybe he actually thought he was playing Tetris or something.
It was crazy, man. Like, just running around in the open with the op, looking for someone to kill. It genuinely... I
opposite of...
Don't say this lightly. It looked like he was playing a DM. It really did.
It did. I think I would do that on a DM. But yeah, no, just the fact that he jumped in and is able to survive being attacked from both ramp and Palace while standing on Tetris, it is just ridiculous.
No, it is. It is. And that's the difference right now between these 2 teams.
Maybe if he had an AK, yeah, you get a quick headshot, flick over. No, the op, he just should not be allowed to do that. And James has opened up again.
Yeah, he's safe to watch Connector because they've got the players, they've got Kicker and Adren pushed up close to watch into Palace and Ramp. He's playing a much looser game then in towards Connector, trying to catch himself a couple of frags. But Syman stacked at bedside of B. They look to hit it. So far, Sanji and Buster having a great game, but Sanji's taken down. This is a good start for Syman. The rotate's on their way. Kios can cut them off, but he can't because he missed his shots. And so Buster has got help on the way. They need to move fast towards this B bomb site. They need to deal with Buster. They've already spotted him out. He manages to cross back short to play safe. In a 4v3, they'll play a retake.
The double up setup certainly complicates the situation. Neelan slightly up close to the kitchen. Going to be trying to hold as they push out. I believe I'm in a teammate. Well, yeah, that's Norbert. Mostly being focused himself towards short. Now that his teammate goes down, he can't really afford to do so. Have to try and at least take the fight towards kitchen, get them some control of being outnumbered. He ends up going down, and Chris now being left alone. Gets that first kill, but obviously with that, his position confirmed for the remaining CTs, and they all just zero in. Plenty of time for the defuse to be found there in the end. It's 13-1. I mean, one of the better positions that we've seen the boys on Syman actually getting themselves into. I don't think we've seen many bomb plants. Is that our second bomb plant? Sorry, third, because of the round they won, they were able to get the bomb plant as well. So that's the third bomb plant that we've seen so far in this, which is quite low as you head into the final round of the half.
Yeah, I mean, even just look at that kill distribution. Kiels has hit 10 frags. He's been doing well. Failed to get the rotates there, which could have made a big difference. And I mean, really, this is just one of the weakest performances I've seen from Syman, but I wouldn't even put it down to that. VP are playing a different style of Counter-Strike at the moment. It's hard to predict what they're going to do, where they're going to be, but it looks like they figured out James as well to spray on the Buster. Mao, with nearly 200 damage done and almost the 2 frags. It does play out as a 1-for-1 trade, and the problem is the player with 13 health has got the op. It does balance it out that little bit. Now rotating into B to play support for Sanji, who's pushed up close. 2 players here. He catches the first. Of course he does. That was Kriaz. But as he takes the smoke out, he had absolutely no idea that Norbert was going to be there. That frag, they could have went B, but the bomb is left towards the T-spawn, and that's going to cost them a lot of time. So they're going to keep their options open in middle. Looking for something in towards connector or window. Hopefully VP start to rotate, and that would be the ideal situation so Syman could grab some kills. But what might not be ideal is the way they're rotating. Kickert moves to B as well as James, who was there earlier, but it's a Dren's spot that gets me worried. He's going to come behind middle, not even going into apartments where they would suspect the B play to be coming in. And he'll have a very quick rotation on them. He doesn't catch them in mid because they don't stick around too long with 35 seconds left. And that kind of defeats the purpose of his flank now. The Kicker's making noise around short. They'll be looking into connector anyways. But a good trade back by James. With low HP though, this has to be a Dren. If a Dren doesn't win this, at least the first duel, James, I mean, he won't save, but he's 13 health, so he probably won't win.
Yeah, it's a good chance he wouldn't be able to, but it being the final round here, obviously they do need to move forward. There's a Molotov here as well that could be used to actually flush out a player. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a poor time to pull that out because his teammate was already crossing over. So he was going to be taking the fight. Then James with the Molotov in the hand couldn't really do anything to help him out. And at that point, obviously being pinned in towards the stairs. So we will see a second round there being salvaged by Syman. It is obviously nowhere near enough. They're going to need a fantastic second half. They're going to need to get off to a fantastic start with that pistol in the opening gun round. And it is certainly going to be a tough one. But of course, we have to just wait and see if that's going to be possible, guys. We are going to send it over to a quick break for the halftime.
Show you, so I came a little closer. You said I'll show you how to love you,
And welcome back, everybody. VP versus Syman, half number 2, and it's not set to be the most interesting of ones. If you're scratching your heads as to who's going to win this, well, you're obviously new to Counter-Strike. 13 on the board for VP. They've been looking dominant in almost every single aim duel they've taken, and Syman going to look to hold them off with a bit of mid-aggression. Sadly, that ain't working for the start of it, at least. Leaving just Mao by himself on top mid after Chaos falls. Continues to hold it, and indeed swing wide for aggression. They do desperately want to pull back one of the kills, but as he's left down to 22 HP, the quick goosh that came through, he won't be aggressing any further, giving VP the opportunity to move back towards that A bomb site and push out as quickly as can be. Only one player there defending in towards the CT side, or CT spawn. And indeed, the first rotator is actually going to be Mao. One is low HP.
Yeah, in towards connector. They're not putting down smokes, obviously. They are just creeping forward. All they have is a couple of flashes. Jesus Christ, Mo, what was that? Just 0 F's given. Just strafed straight in. Instantly took a headshot, but as we would expect with so many players there, he really didn't survive much longer. There's one quick kill from Kree. Is not able to deny the bomb plant, unfortunately, but gets the kill afterwards. The issue is, no way he expects this from Buster. Yeah, he is screwed. A little bit awkward is that he wasn't really able to get the headshot. Had to go for the body spam instead because of the angle. So, yeah, I mean, the short control being found back in favor of the T side. They have bomb planted both ramp and short. There really was very little that could be done right there. The smoke going down maybe could have given a little bit of hope for him to perhaps hop on it. Maybe even just tap it and see if he could bait out a couple of the kills. But even then would have just been peaked from multiple angles at once. So it was a very difficult position. Syman, they're currently in an overall very difficult position as well. They're down 14-2. They have to buy into this one. If this buy doesn't work, they'll be on a similar one in the next round to keep themselves alive here on their own map choice. This is their map choice again, Mitch. Like, what? What's going on?
Yeah, it is a little bit crazy. I like that play from Maldo in the previous round. He was 22 HP and just went, screw it. Even if smokes go down or something, I'm going to be spammed through them. I'm dead. I'm just going to go for it. See what I can do.
I think that's what the youngins call the Ferrari peak.
Yeah, just zoom around the corner, and he got himself the frag. What can you say? I think he's pulled back the situation in his spot relatively recently, but overall there wasn't a whole lot that could have been expected from the round, indeed from that kind of play. Hello, Nealon. Oh, okay. Trying almost escape with his life. The first few bullets dodging, but eventually it's traded. And with that, okay, Syman have got 2 SMGs, a Scout, a Deagle. It's workable. But VP on 3 AKs definitely going to present a unique challenge. Swinging out with a quick headshot. Nealon can't do a damn thing. Spam to death through the boxes. And that is going to leave us onto a 4 versus 2. Syman losing the A site, losing any advantage they had. Or any position to play from. And it's just getting worse and worse by the second. Spammed in the side of the head to put Mel as last alive. It really isn't a nice situation to stare at. And jump shotted by a Mag-10. Yeah, that about seems right.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mitch. You're just a hater if you don't believe in the overtime right now.
Oh,
Biased caster.
13. Everybody knows Mirage is the most CT sided map in the pool, so you've got me there.
God, I didn't expect this to be so one-sided. Honestly, we said obviously VP, yeah, going to be clear-cut favorites coming in. But we never expect to see maps being this one-sided. You still think that they're going to be able to put up a fight, especially when it's their own map choice. You're like, okay, they must have prepped this. They've likely prepped it against a specific opponent, put a little bit of time into it. They'll come through. They'll give us a competitive match at least, kind of like we seen from Big versus Astralis last night on their map, despite then kind of getting a 16-5 on the second map. I thought maybe that'd be the same case here, that Syman would be able to give us a good showing on Mirage, and then moving on to the next 2 maps is where they would struggle, or if they reach the 3rd map even. I was thinking this could still really go either way, but no, VP, make it look easy, okay. As I said, a similar force bite to that previous round coming in from the CTs. This time it does work out for the opening kill early on mid. With that, VP instantly reacting and going to bring themselves out towards the A-bomb site, where already the CTs have rotated in and set themselves up fairly good. I mean, there's 3 players from Connector, 1 from Jungle, 1 in that CT spawn. They're peeking all together, just trying to take these fights, but the AKs are beginning to return down to the 3-on-2 now, so it looks like this could be Mo left alone, trapped in on the stairs, and unfortunately there's a lot of steps to overcome if he wants to make this clutch happen, and nah, not allowed. Sanji again with the Mag-10 there to finish it out, 16-2. Syman, I don't know. Maybe it's because we didn't tell them what to do.